They walk into a room and nothing is visibly wrong. The conversation flows, people laugh, someone gestures for them to join. They do. They smile at the right moments. They respond when spoken to. On the surface, everything appears normal. And yet, beneath it all, something feels off. It's not anxiety in the traditional sense, not exactly fear. It's more like watching life from half a step behind a glass wall. Present, but not quite inside it. They often find themselves scanning the room, wondering how everyone else seems so naturally aligned, so synchronized in tone, timing, and presence. Meanwhile, they feel like they are translating a language everyone else was born speaking. Even among close friends, even among family, there is a quiet, persistent thought, what is it that I'm missing? They adapt. They mirror. They adjust their personality depending on who they're with. And yet, no matter how well they perform, the feeling remains. A subtle but unshakable sense of not belonging anywhere. This is the psychology of people who feel out of place everywhere they go. At its core, this experience is rooted in a complex interplay of identity fragmentation, social adaptation, and heightened self-awareness. These individuals are not necessarily socially incapable. Many are highly perceptive. They read emotional cues well. They understand social dynamics, sometimes more deeply than others. But instead of being in the moment, they are often observing it. Instead of expressing naturally, they are evaluating their own expression in real time. This creates a subtle but persistent psychological distance. In many cases, this pattern develops early in life. It may stem from environments where authenticity was not fully accepted or where fitting in required constant adjustment. Over time, the mind learns a powerful strategy: adapt to survive. This leads to what psychologists might describe as adaptive identity shifting, where the self becomes fluid, context-dependent, and difficult to anchor. But while this adaptability can be a strength, it comes at a cost. Because when someone becomes everything, everywhere, they risk feeling like they are no one anywhere. Which version of me is actually real? Even in moments of connection, a part of them stands outside the experience. They notice details others miss, tone shifts, micro-expressions, subtle tensions. But instead of deepening connection, this awareness often pulls them further inward. Because they adapt so frequently, their internal identity becomes less defined. Preferences feel flexible, opinions feel situational, even emotions can feel uncertain. They may ask themselves, do I actually like this, or am I just aligning with the people around me? It doesn't matter where they are. A party, a workplace, a family gathering. There's often a subtle sense that they don't quite belong in that specific configuration of reality. Conversations don't end when they end. They replay, they analyze tone, word choice, pauses, reactions. Did that sound strange? Was that too much? Did they notice something off about me? Even in long-term friendships, there is sometimes a lingering sense of impermanence, as if they are temporarily accepted but not deeply rooted. They may hesitate to fully open up, fearing that their presence is conditional. They crave deep connection, but because they filter themselves so heavily, others rarely see their full depth. They are known, but not fully understood. Connected, but still alone. There is a quiet longing, not necessarily for a specific person or memory, but for a feeling, a sense of belonging that feels just out of reach. They imagine environments where they would finally feel aligned. In the eyes of society, adaptability is praised. Being flexible, being agreeable, being able to fit in anywhere. But for these individuals, that strength becomes a silent burden. Because the more they adapt externally, the less anchored they feel internally. And yet, beneath all the adaptation, there is still a core, quiet, unexpressed, waiting. Perhaps the goal is not to force belonging in every space, but to slowly, deliberately, create spaces where adaptation is no longer required, where presence replaces performance, where silence feels natural, not awkward, and where the question shifts from, do I fit here? To something far more grounding, does this place fit me? Because sometimes feeling out of place everywhere is not a sign that something is wrong with the person, but a quiet indication that they have yet to find where they truly belong.